What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and I'm still sick as a dog, guys. Having COVID body aches when I already have this weird, synesthesia and neuropathy from my injury. It's got me pretty down for the count, but I'm trying to get this review out on Valentine's Day, so hopefully you guys are seeing this on the day of love. And in a season that celebrates love, there's a natural desire to wear something special, something that captures the romance, passion, and energy of the day. And I have a watch in red that fits right into that vision. Now, we've taken a look at a watch from this watchmaker, MecExp. Of course, that stands for Mechanical Exploration. But this one, as I said, is in red with a black-coated stainless steel case. And if you haven't seen my reviews of this watch, please go back into my channel. I have a playlist filled with watch reviews and check it out. But I'm going to talk about this watch as if you've never seen it before, because this is probably one of my favorite watches that I reviewed back in 2024. I took a look at the standard stainless steel one. I took a look at the little bit oversized, or I should say larger variant in titanium. And this one also is in stainless steel, but it's coated. And, this color palette, the robust functionality, the interesting display of time, and the interesting movement itself makes for a very bold, unforgettable look and a really fun time-telling experience. So with that said, let's go ahead and tell the time. It is 1:20 p.m. Let's get down to business. So at first glance, you'll notice how the MS1001 breaks away from traditional watchmaking norms. This is not, a handset on a middle spindle rotating around, a round dial. This features two vertical columns, and they are actuated by the CNC-driven motor movement. And yes, this is an electrical watch, okay? So there's no soul. But on the left, you can see that's the hours segment, and then on the right, there is a minutes column, and there is an added complication. This is a flyback chronograph. This novel layout evokes a sense of like modernism, maybe even industrialism, kind of like cyberpunky, steampunky. It's just really like interesting. And at first, it might be kind of jarring to have this on your wrist, and like you might find it kind of weird to tell time that way, but after just a few moments, you'll realize it's kind of intuitive, actually. It's pretty easy, and it's, a digital watch. It's just a very unique kind of digital watch. Now, this variant with the red and black color palette, it definitely underscores Valentine's Day. I don't typically wear red watches. I don't have watches that have a lot of red on them, but this is something definitely unique and perfect for Valentine's Day. The kind of deep red rubber strap makes it kind of sporty, a bit contemporary. It matches with the red numerals, and again, really nice contrast with that black coated stainless steel case. And there's little details as well. So if you look closer, you could see that there's a flyback marking on the base, and it pays homage to that chronograph feature. There's vertical ridges carved that kind of give it an industrial flair. And the knurled crown, it's not a threaded crown, but you are going to be using that crown a whole lot to actuate the various features. One of my favorite features isn't actually the chronograph complication. It's actually the light. And you can see here some shots of me charging this watch, and it has this really cool green kind of ambient light telling you that it's charging. And then when you hit it again, when you depress that crown, you see some red light as this kind of like red backlight. It's really, really fun and really unique, and not something you see every day. So let's jump into the specs real quick. So as I said, stainless steel case, coated black. The length of the watch, or the lug to lug, is 48 millimeters. It's 38 millimeters wide with a 14.5 millimeter case thickness. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Sapphire crystal. And so again, this isn't even like a normal crystal layout. It has two crystal inlays that kind of give you windows into that CNC driven movement. The battery capacity, I'll put it on screen here. I don't remember off the top of my head. Despite the industrial look, I will say this watch is actually very comfortable on the wrist. The rubber strap, very supple, and it almost gives it like a curvature. So it really does lay on your wrist very nicely. Now, if you're used to kind of thinner watches, especially like if you're a vintage wearer or a dress watch wearer, this might seem kind of imposing and intimidating, but when you have it on your wrist, you'll realize it's actually quite comfortable. Now, I will say, if you want something even more comfortable or even less imposing, I would actually go for the titanium variant of this watch. It is a tad bit larger on paper, but it's titanium, so it's even lighter, and it's like you forget it's there. Let's get into the pros and cons. Yeah. So pros, it's definitely an atypical watch, right? If you're looking for something outside the box, if you're looking for something that's a conversation piece, if you're looking for something that is very, very different, this is the watch for you. Guys, this summer I was in Vegas and I wore this watch when I was, running the tables over there and, losing the shirt off my back. And every person, even the dealers, were asking me about my watch. It was so funny. And dude, I would look around, there's people with like solid gold Rolexes and stuff, and I'm here with this, sub $300 watch, and people were asking me about it. Now, I would say that another pro would be the features. Again, my favorite feature being that backlight, but it having a chronograph complication, very, very cool. And it's just overall unique time-telling presentation is probably one of the biggest pros. The final pro, though, that I will mention is that this variant is under $400. But as I said, there are other options on the MecExp site that are even under $300. So it's very impressive what they're able to produce and sell to us at such a low cost. Now we got to get into some of the potential cons, okay? The first con is actually what I mentioned in the first part of the pros section. It's an atypical watch. If you're not someone who wants to wear something super different, or you're not really used to wearing something super different, this might be something that you have to consider. It's a rectangular watch, yes, but it's just over 14 millimeters thick. That's not thin, okay? It's definitely not dress watch territory. The next thing is that it's electric. So although there is a very long battery life of this watch, and I rarely, if ever, have to like charge it. I'm charging it now so I could show you. It's still, if people are, I would say, only partial to mechanical watches, I think this scratches that itch because there's definitely a large mechanical component. But if you don't like anything electric on your wrist, then obviously this is a no-go. And then the final con I would say is that this is the more expensive variant of this watch. So this is under $400 because it's coated and it's like the red variant, but they have other MS1001s that are, less expensive, I think under $300. So if you're looking for a watch that doesn't blend in and outright demands to be noticed, the MecExp, like in red or any color that you choose, is hard to top, okay? And the reason I'm trying to release this on Valentine's Day, and I hope we get it out in time, is because it is red, and I think it's perfect. And listen, red watches aren't super common, at least definitely not in my collection. So if you're looking for something that has a really interesting way of displaying time, something that has a ton of functionality, something that has a bunch of really interesting features and functions, and if you're just a little like, watch nerd like me that always wants to see something different, then MecExp is kind of the company to give it to you. And I think one of the coolest things is that it's not that much money. So whether you're planning on a night out on the town, having a fancy schmancy date, or you simply want to mark the occasion in an unforgettable way, strapping on this watch ensures your look reflects the heart-pounding excitement of Valentine's Day, and you're just going to be wearing a really cool watch. So even if you're spending Valentine's Day by yourself, you're going to have a cool watch to look at, and hey, that ain't bad. So guys, I will catch you on the next one. I'm sorry for my voice. I'm giving it my all, so just bear with me for a little while longer, guys. I love you. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.